Hello and welcome to my first video on F1 22. As you can see, it is my first race online on this game, and it was in the weekly event that is in the game, where there's obviously like a thing each week where you can take part in, and this one obviously ties in with the British Grand Prix at the weekend. So yeah, we're here at Silverstone then. Qualified on pole for this race. Obviously it's not against actual people when you qualify, but then you get put in a lobby with a bunch of people who also qualified. So yeah, that's where we are now then. We've got the lights here, and we are underway then at Silverstone, and getting a very bad start there. The start seems to be a lot harder on this game, and I imagine some people probably using assist, as we were about 4 wide there going into the first corner, and inevitably I got sandwiched there and got front wing damage on both sides. Now heading into turn 3, and we just get completely pile drived once again there then, by someone just completely missing their braking point. And well, it's just like, well, as you'd expect really from an online lobby, I guess, with random people, which I haven't really done for quite a long time. So yeah, this was all bringing back memories, to be honest, of all the times when I used to play on sprints and just got wiped out all the time basically. But well, we'll see what we can do then. So we already gained one place back then from Dub's game where they're spinning out, and we do seem to have some decent pace here, even with a broken front wing. So we're just going to hopefully start making some moves then. There's some AI cars as well to make up the full 20 car grid. We've already passed one of them then, and there's another instant there, another car off, and we've managed to take one or two there going through Cop's corner here, although we're still side by side with MK there. But it looks like we've managed to get the move done, and now we've got an AI car of Barnes here then. Also again quite slow, so we should be able to just drive around with that then quite easily. And then classic online there then, just two cars crashing into each other in the middle of the straight there, and that puts us up then into, well, back up into 12th place then already. So we're obviously disappointed because we started on pole position, but we're already making up all these places back then, and there's quite a few cars in the pit, so I imagine with damage and drive through penalties. I decided not to pit just because the damage didn't feel that bad really, as we're making a move now then on Honourable Brando, but we're just not going to get around the outside there then, especially with wing damage. So we're just going to sit behind for the time being. But yeah, the damage didn't feel that bad, and I didn't really want to waste the soft tyres if my pace was still right, so I decided to stay out here then for the time being and just see how it was for a couple more laps then. We've got a great run then on Brando down the Wellington straight here, and yeah, we should have this move done and quite straightforward up into 9th position with another battle going on just in front of us, which actually includes yet another AI car then. That was all the way up in 6th place there for the moment, but it's obviously dropped back now then, so we're just going to tuck in behind now then. We're not really close enough to make a move into Cop's corner here, so we're going to sit behind and see what happens. And in fact, well, the AI car there, it almost seemed like caused a collision there really, and wiped the two of them out. Starting us then into 7th position as we look back at what happened on that start. And yeah, we just did not get away. The starts are so difficult. You can see some people jumping the start there, which obviously didn't help, and probably how we ended up 4 wide there and with us getting hit. But yeah, the starts are so difficult on this game, especially with no traction control. I imagine quite a few people here would have been using at least some assists, so yeah, I imagine for those with traction control that was quite straightforward there. But some people could probably do with the brake assist, judging by that turn 3 there, because yeah, we just got completely wiped out. But yeah, skip on to lap 3 now then, where we are on the back now then of Killer 92 here, and we've got DRS on this lap, but well, we could be close here. We'd have to go for on the brakes, and wasn't quite confident enough on that occasion to go for it there. I'm using the default setup at this point. I hadn't really figured out any setups at this point, so yeah, I was just going with the default setup for this race. So yeah, well, I was just that was the only thing I was really comfortable with at this point. So yeah, sort of just still getting on top of that really. And yeah, we've got a great runner on Killer, but he didn't really want to give us the place there. So yeah, we're just going to have to follow them now then through Maggots and Beckett's now, and we should get a go over now then down the hangar straight with the DRS here then. We open up the DRS now then, and well, they're weaving about all over the place. We're on the grass, and yeah, as I was saying, this is just classic online really, and I mean, you've got to play dirty really with some of these people, but sadly that doesn't quite pay off me then offline and with grass on my tyres. lit up the rear tyres there. And I mean, even in those fast corners now, it is so easy to light up the rear tyres if you're just too, trigger happy, I guess, on the throttle. And yeah, we went spin out there then. So yeah, that one didn't really work out too well for us. But I mean, what can you do when just someone is driving that dirty? I mean, you can't play nice when someone is driving like that. You have to go with it really, and we went for the move. It didn't quite work out, and then yeah, just too eager on the throttle, especially as we'd had grass in our tyres before that, and we were offline anyway. So yeah, that wasn't the best decision there. As we are now going to pit then on the end of lap 5. I think someone pitted earlier than us there, but I didn't pick it up. Oh, and the other thing as well that I completely forgot to even mention at this point, just the glitch in this game apparently where the audio is just constantly cutting out in an online race. I mean, I don't think it happens anywhere else, because I haven't noticed it anywhere else, but yeah, just online it seems so bad, as we do not get the turning right for the pit entry there. I don't really know how that works, because I pressed the button before the time ran out there, but I guess there's like a certain point where you're meant to press it, maybe around about like 0.5 or 0.6, which is where you're meant to go it maybe. I actually don't really know how that works. As I say, still early days, so I'm still working out exactly how that works. But yeah, we had pretty much about the same length stop there as Dub's Gamer just in front of us, who also probably was also replacing the front wing there, I guess. And well, that is something that's new in this game. The tyre temperatures are a lot lower, it's a lot harder, and Dub's Gamer certainly found that out there, then completely lit up the rear tyres and spun out straight away. And yeah, we're just tippy-toeing around these first few corners and making sure that we don't push too hard while there's no tyre temperature, as we have a big wobble there then as well, coming out of turn 5 there. And yeah, just using that chance there to just try and generate a bit of heat into the tyres, as yeah, it is very difficult on this game when you first come out of the pits on cold tyres. Some more cars now then are starting to pit. There was actually 2 AI cars there then that were coming on that lap then. That moves up into 8th position here then. And then on the beginning of lap 8 now then, we've got Honourable Brando, who we were battling with before. They're now in the pits as well. It's going to be side by side, but with the cold tyres there, we should be able to pull away from them for the time being. So yeah, whilst it was quite close there, we should have that one comfortable, and yeah, we've already pulled out a second gap there, so that's good for us there. Now then, on lap 10 we catch up to Killen once again then, heading through Maggots and Beckett's, and it looks like once again we'll be having a run down the hanger straight. We'll see if they do the same thing that they did before. I expect they probably will here then. And yeah, you can see before we even were alongside them there, they were just weaving about, and obviously just did not want anyone to pass them, whatever it took. We're going to try and go around the outside here now then, because that's what they left open. But sadly for us, once again, with dirt on our tyres, we were just too eager on the throttle, and yet again made the same mistake there, which is quite frustrating. Yeah, it's just very frustrating being sat behind someone who was driving dirty, and yeah, sadly sort of let that get to me a bit there, and yeah, obviously didn't judge that as well as I could have done. And yeah, sadly that drops us down to 11th place then. A race that we started on pole position, which I think we had pace to be challenging at the front, I think, if everything had gone normally. But obviously you can't really expect normal when you're racing against randos, I guess. But yeah, we've ended up then not even in the points, but well, we're back up into 10th place now then, and we are on the back of Dub's Gamer and a couple more cars now then, so we should have some good battles here hopefully then to take us to the checkered flag now. As Dubs once again spins in front of us, and that's the second time in this race that's happened there, maybe even 3 times in fact. But that puts us up into 9th place, and we're now behind Yornan. I mean, can you tell this is Brando's? Yeah, we're behind Yornan and HRW here then, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a battle here then for 7th place in these final few laps. As we're at the inside then of the first car then up into turn 3 there, still side by side, and yeah, they're on the inside now for the next part. I'm sorry, I can't say that name. It's just too ridiculous to be saying that in the commentary. But yeah, we're down the Wellington straight now then. We've both got DRS and on HRW up in front then, into Brooklands now. Side by side still, we're going to be on the outside here for Luffield. Try and run it around the outside, but we get tagged there. We left plenty of space, but still got tagged sadly. And yeah, well, they've still ended up kind of on top on that then, which is quite frustrating. And yeah, we dropped quite a way back from HRW there, so it doesn't look like we're going to be catching them. But we don't have penalty at this point, but we are racking up the track limits warnings, which isn't good, as we're just following this car now and through Magus and Beckett. And yeah, sadly we do get a penalty as well then, so I mean, it's early days. I want to be trying to cut that out as much as possible in future races. But yeah, for a first line race, well, I guess it's to be expected, I guess. As down the Hangar Straight then we finally get that move done then, and up into 8th place, and we could still catch HRW then in terms of penalties because they do have more than us. So yeah, we could still take that position off of them then. As we see the replay now then, and to be fair, I think this was probably just a mistake from them rather than, them being dirty like the other person was, because they were racing cleanly up to that point. So I think that was probably just a mistake from them there then, understeering into us. And yeah, we did actually almost catch HRW, but yeah, not quite, but we will get it on penalties then. So yeah, a pretty chaotic race then. The kind of one that you expect though from an online race against random people though, I guess. We cross line then, it's going to be 7th place then in the end with that penalty for HRW there. So yeah, as I say, a very chaotic race then. One that I expected, but I mean it's disappointing really because, looking at the our lap time, we could have been fighting near the front there. I mean, Double Trouble was very quick there, 31.1 was their best lap time. I mean, I was second in terms of fastest lap classifications there, but if we could have been in a place where we could have had put some consistent lap times in, not been in any incidents, then we could have been fighting at the front there. But I mean, sadly, it wasn't to be. And this race was just for fun, really. Anyway, it's the weekly event, which isn't really that important, I guess. So yeah, it was just good to race some actual people then on the new game, and yeah, just see how everything is online. And well, sadly, it's a bit of a mess then. Well, certainly in terms of like the audio glitch that's in the game at the moment, which is quite frustrating. But other than that, things seemed alright. It was mainly other people's driving that was our biggest problem in that race. But yeah, as I say, it was to be expected. So that's that then. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping to bring you some more online races over the next few weeks. I'm planning on racing in at least one of the WOR social races that's going on. So yeah, hopefully I'll have a good video to give you from that. Other than that, we may do more events depending on what comes up. And yeah, as I said before, I plan to race in WOR this season, so yeah, that'll be coming sometime next month as well. So yeah, stick around if you enjoy this and you want to see more videos. Hit the like button as well if you enjoyed this one, and I shall see you next time.